Welcome to Creating Disney Magic with Lee Cockerell. Lessons in leadership, management, and customer service. You can create magic too. I'm your host, Jody Mayberry, and I'm here with Lee Cockerell, the retired Executive Vice President of Walt Disney World. And with that prestigious title, Lee did something that delighted 400 students in the Disney College program. Lee was a guest speaker for the college program. Now, we've talked about the college program on past episodes. Wonderful program. A lot of the students live at one particular area with right there at Disney, and they have a fabulous training center. So, first of all, Lee, that was your first time at Flamingo Crossing. What did you think of their training center?
Well, Flamingo Crossing is an amazing place. I had no idea. It was so beautiful. What a great facility for the students to be able to live there and learn there. So it was great, and I enjoyed it. I got treated nicely by everybody, and I really enjoyed talking to the students. They have a million questions, like all young people today and others too, concerned about what's next, graduating from college, getting into jobs. What should I do, not do? How can I interview better? How can I make my resume look better? And all those kinds of things. I would say if I had to summarize everything I told them is not to worry too much about it. Whatever happens will happen, and don't worry about taking a lower level job. Just get into a good company, be the best person in that job, be better than everybody else, have a great attitude and be reliable, and you will definitely get noticed because you will stand out. And I think that was good advice for a lot of them. I got a lot of good feedback from them. The pressure graduating from college, you're getting pressure not only from the job market and every potential economy, you're getting it from your parents, your grandparents. What are you going to do with your life? I remember back when I was young, my mother wanted me to be something. I went off and took a job as a waiter, and I built that into experiences and exposure and learning, and my career turned out great. And so I think sometimes we overthink it when we're young, because of course every parent's worried. Oh my gosh, what are my kids going to do? And they should. I mean, of course it's normal to worry. So I think I enjoyed speaking to them. I'm communicating with a lot of them now that kind of signed up and are listening to our podcast. I gave them some good advice on there's things available to solve some of your concerns. Our podcast, you can listen to those and learn and get encouragement and ideas on how to approach different issues in your life, and the books and the Cockerell Academy, and a lot of resources that are available out there if you want, especially since you're working for Disney. Most of my advice is from the hospitality business, but literally it's about how to be a good leader in any part of your life, and how to be recognized, and how to excel, and how to keep learning. And so it was good. It was good for me to speak to that group. I haven't spoken to a young group recently, because I learn too when I give those, and when they come up and have questions and all things I probably have forgotten, not thinking about recently, because young people, their point of view and their concerns and their worries are different than people that are probably out in the workforce for 10 or 15 years and have experience already, or have the right education or the right point of view. But it's a hard time in the job market. But great people will always find a job. People with a great attitude that keep learning and are really reliable and get the job done, they're going to get it. They may not like their first job. Their parents may not like their first job. The parents may not want to tell their friends that their daughter is a hostess in a restaurant after she got a 4-year degree. But you got to start, you got to get experience, and as they say, just get going, get started, and things will happen sooner. Don't take a year to find a job. Just go ahead and get one and start. And I think target good brands, good companies, because those are the companies that will train you and give you the right direction, and it will look really good on your resume, and it'll give you more interviews when you're working for a good company, and access to the kind of managers that you're going to learn from. So yeah, it was great. Enjoyed it a lot. They even invited me back, so I'll be going back sometime when they decide they're ready for another shot, and when I need another shot. Yeah, it was great.
One of the fun things about the Learning Center at Flamingo Crossing, they have this big display about the college program, how it's changed over the years, how it's evolved. And they have some photos up, and one of them is of Daniel Cockerell while he was in the college program. That was fun seeing that, wasn't it, Lee?
They showed that to me. I said, good grief. Yeah, but the college program was instrumental in his success too, and Valerie's. Valerie was there on the international program, and Daniel was there after he graduated from college, and they met there, and both of their careers really, what they learned at Disney and working for a company that has such high standards, it really develops you in no matter what kind of business you go into. You're going to have standards from just being associated with it. You'll know what excellence looks like, how you treat people, how you speak to people, how you think about how to deal with difficult customers, all those things that no matter what business you're in, you're going to have those same issues everywhere you go. And so I always tell people, this will make one of the decisions you're glad you made, that you got that on your resume, because when you go for interviews, people are going to see that, and they're going to want to talk to you, and probably most of what they'll talk about in your interview is tell us about Disney, and then you'll probably get hired. So it's all good for Disney. It's great for Disney because Disney gets a great group of people that are taking care of the guests and customers, and they're at that age and in their careers, they're really inspired to do a good job. And I think the other thing at Disney, what happens, they all make lifetime friends from all over the world, which even is something good. I mean, I remember Daniel had a roommate when he was there from China, and Valerie had one from Japan. And a few years ago, they went to Japan to visit her 30 years later. I mean, so, those, and getting international friends and people from other parts of the world, it really makes you understand how important it is to understand everybody and their culture and their ways of life, and it makes you a better person, well-rounded. Yeah.
Well, I do know. So Daniel was in the college program. Then when he graduated, he, even having a 4-year degree and with his friends taking bigger jobs at other companies, Daniel returned to Disney parking cars at Epcot. And that is such an incredible story, Lee, that he bet on himself and he bet on the value of going for such a strong company like Disney, and was willing as a college graduate to start out parking cars.
I think that's correct, and he also did not have parents putting pressure on him to go be famous right away. So he was comfortable with that, and so it was good. It was great. Good for him, good for Disney, and good for our family. And as I say, my son worked for Disney before I did.
Yeah,
I tell
that's
people
right.
he got me the job. He told me it was great. He told me it was great. So.
And Daniel and Valerie, Lee mentioned that they met at Disney doing laundry. That's how they first met each other, at
They were
doing
in
laundry.
college housing, and they met in the laundry room on one Saturday morning. So for all the guys out there, do your own laundry. It may pay off.
All right, Lisa, we talked about your presentation. A lot of the college students came up with questions. What are the topics that you found are most on the mind of younger people? What are they concerned about?
I think just getting that first opportunity, and many of them were worried that companies would say, "Well, you don't have enough experience." And I said, "Well, that's always true when you're young. You don't have experience, but when you can really say you have Disney experience, that's going to put you ahead of the average person out there in the world that doesn't have experience, because you had Disney experience for 6 months at least. And a lot of them worry about having to move, relocate. And I encourage them to do that, to go to the big city, meet people from all over the world, learn. And but they were really uncertainty's always the problem when you're going to do something that big, especially coming right out of college. Uncertainty. They all were quite uncertain. They weren't comfortable knowing yet how things might work out. And then today they're, all of us are quite informed of how the economy is a little shaky. So they know that. And when I was their age, I didn't know there was an economy. I didn't read the paper. But now with social media, you get a message every time somebody gets laid off, or your friends, and people are communicating this back and forth. And so, but I think it's just uncertainty, that you always have when you're young and haven't. It's like anything, even when we do things we've never done before. I'm always thinking, I wonder if that'll work. We started the podcast. We didn't know if that was going to work or not. Take a course. You don't know if that's going to be valuable to you. Learning AI. We're saying, do we really have to? Yeah, well, it's turning out to be something. Once you learn, you have even more ideas. So knowledge is the fuel, and those kids are a lot of smart kids and learning how to conduct themselves, how to interview, and Disney does a good job of teaching them all that while they're here. So, yeah, we all have concerns, but I think they took the best route. If they're going to spend 6 months working on an internship, they picked the right company to do it with, because they're going to get more than they ever imagined. They're going to know in their life that they learned things they didn't even realize back then. So that's what happens when you go out and get experience and exposure to different people, different companies. So it's a good thing.
You know what's interesting, Lee? I can think of a couple people. One of them being Tim Dick, who's been a guest on this show twice, which we don't usually have guests on the show. But Tim was with Disney for the college program way back when he was in college, and he still talks about it like it just happened last year. It's a great example of the impact the college program makes on students.
Oh, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. And the lesson there is, when you go to a place and learn a lot, that knowledge pays off forever. And especially when you're young and haven't had a lot of exposure in your life or traveled, or you really get it there because you're surrounded by people from every country in the world. Guests are from every country in the world. Things you have to deal with that you never imagined. You learn to have a boss that is going to be high, demanding, and hopefully treating you right and training you. So I think a lot of the lessons they learn, they don't even realize they learned them until they're gone, and they go out in the world and know things they didn't know and don't even realize where they learned them. I mean, this is what happens, and that a lot of their friends won't understand or won't know because they didn't have that right experience or that right exposure. It's really a big deal. And I really hammered that. Education, exposure, experience. Keep doing that. You'll forget half of what you learned in college, but you'll never forget the experience at Disney, what you learned there and what they taught you. Yeah.
So if you take the presentation you gave to the college students plus the questions you got after, what advice would you give for college students?
Well, I think hopefully what they learned is that because of that program, they now understand what excellence looks like. And I think they need to consider that as they go to other companies. They're not, if they join a company that doesn't have high standards and is not excellent, they're not going to be happy, because they now have tasted the ice cream. They want the good stuff. And so it will, I think for them, it will set a new standard for what their expectations are, not only in their personal lives of how they go about experiencing service and leadership around the world, but that now they understand it. And I think that they'll, after you work at Disney, you see the world different than everybody else. You see it different when you notice a lack of details, a lack of excellence, a lack of attitude, a lack of, you notice it. It's like any, I'm sure after the astronauts went to the moon, they see the world different, experience. And we know that, And you think about it yourself. You travel, you went to Kuwait, you went down to Chile in some middle of a forest and on a horseback. You see the world different than people who haven't done that. They can't even imagine. You know things you don't even know you know. And this is what taking a chance does. It just keeps making you better and better and better. And so I would say, don't be afraid to take risks, and you'll be fine. Yeah.
All right. Well, our friends at Magical Vacation Planner, they can't get you into the Disney College program, but they can make sure you have a wonderful vacation. If you want to visit Disney, you can call them at 407-442-2694. And if you're interested in anything we've got going on, you can find it all at cockerellstore.com. You can find the courses, the books, the Cockerell Academy, the Main Street Leader newsletter, and the free resources that we have. So thank you so much, Lee. Thank you for joining us for an episode of Creating Disney Magic. Until next week, go out and create magic for others.